So we're going to continue with broadening the cinema experience for a better inclusivity. And first up is Marlies Stevens from Kunstencentrum BUDA.
Well, thank you. Yeah, so I'm going to talk about our sensory-friendly film workshops. Yeah. First of all, maybe a small note or a small comment about the title, because it's now in the planning, it says workshops for autistic children, or yeah, something like that. And that's a term that we don't really use anymore, because we learn how to use more inclusive language. So it's better to say if you have like a child with autism, or that's right, yeah. Because if you say autistic child, it's the word child that defines the person, not the word autistic. So if you say like a child with autism, it's still a child, so it's like nicer to say. And we chose for the term sensory-friendly film workshop because it's broader than that. We also want to target neurodiverse children or people who go to special needs education. Does everyone understand what sensory-friendly means? Okay, perfect. Oh. Yeah, so what is it? It's a workshop where kids can learn about movie making. So we give them what are the topics? We have Foley, we have music on film, storyboards are a part of it. There's a small part integrated with augmented reality, so they have an understanding of that. But also a little stop motion exercise. Yeah. It's a workshop we initially already had for schools, but we noticed that we weren't really, it was not at the pace for like special needs kids or children that had like a harder time in regular education. So we wanted to make a workshop specifically for them. But what makes it different? As you can see on the picture, these are our sensory-friendly materials. So we have like wobble cushions where you sit on and you can like move without like having to stand up or having to move like big. We have headphones, which can be noise cancelling, not always, we have both. Those are like heavy pillows to put on your lap. And then we also have some fidgets. Those materials are always available for the children at all time during the workshop. So they can take one or they can put one away. This is actually a picture from the workshop. We have consent to show the pictures from the school. What also makes it different is the pace of the workshop. So we have a timeline for kids, like a visual representation, so the kids can see how long the workshop will still take. So we have like an arrow that we like put on each exercise so they know, okay, we're halfway, there's still one more exercise and then the workshop is done. But the visual representation is really important for them. And we have it in like different formats. We have some with only pictures. Then we also have some with text. It really depends on what the school wants or what they need. And then also before the workshop, we sent the teachers a visual preparation. So it's like a guideline with pictures. How do you enter the cinema? Where is the workshop area? So they can go through this at school, like a week beforehand or some days beforehand. So the kids are prepared for the visit to the cinema. Yeah. The workshop takes about between 2.5 hours and 3 hours. There's definitely 2 breaks in between, but it can be more. It really depends on the group. And we focus on a constant guidance on the kids. Usually there's one mentor, but we also get a lot of help from the teachers or the mentors from the schools or the organizations. So the kids are really the focus here, that they have a good time, that they can like adapt to the environment. So that's really important. And the workshops are only given at times when the cinema is closed, so that there's no people around they don't know. As a staff, we know when the workshops take place, so we also don't go in the cinema at the time, so they only have their own teachers and the mentor from the workshop there. Yeah. No. Okay. I only have pictures, by the way. I don't have text. Sorry for that. So why do we do this? Okay. Thank you. Pictures say more than words. So we decided, so I already said, we decided to also give those kids an opportunity to learn about cinema at their own pace, with their own environment. But we also think it's a good way to lead those kids to the cinema in the future. Maybe for some it's their first visit to like a cinema, but they can really, it's like, for some it's a really big step to do this. But maybe if they already know the environment, they can come to the cinema later with their parents or maybe with the school. Because we also now are trying out sensory-friendly films. So so we also do it for film. Yeah. So it's actually also broadening our audience. This is the stop motion installation, by the way. So it's like the little swimmers. Yeah, it's really cute. Struggles. Of course, we also had some struggles. We don't do it as long already. I think we had like 4 or 5 schools that have been here. We had like a testing case with 2 schools. Now we are doing it for schools that can apply. The struggles is the time and structure. It really depends on the class or on the group. Every group is different. For some people, you can only have like a short time for each subject. Some people can do the stop motion for 1 hour. Others are already bored, not really bored, but distracted after like 10 minutes. So it really depends on the group. So that's like a struggle we have, that we really need to focus on like making space for their own pace. Okay, wow.
Their own pace.
Yeah. One thing we noticed to fix this, sometimes more breaks can be really helpful. It can only maybe 2 or 3 minutes, but that they can like come to their senses. That really works. And also preparation takes a lot of time. On the next slides, there will be some visuals, because the visual presentation has to be made. We have manuals for the workshops. All the visual elements have to be made beforehand. We had a really nice intern who made a project of this, so she helped a lot. So maybe it's something you can do like with an intern who focuses maybe on special needs kids. It's a really nice project to work on, I think. And a lot of schools are, the comments we had from the schools and organizations are really positive. They think it's really nice that they can come to the cinema for this kind of workshop. And also the visual presentation is really nice for them. Yeah, so this is like a planning for the kids with text. We also have it without texts. So this is like the mentor of the workshop. They already have a face. They know the person beforehand. This is the visual representation that they get. So how do you enter? This is like the manual for the manual for one of the activities for the stop motion. So really clear with a lot of pictures, a lot of steps. And then afterwards, the sad smiley is gone, which is good. So after the workshop, we also ask the kids to evaluate, but really easy with like 3 smileys, so they can just show us if they liked it or not. And then the last one, is evaluation. It's really trial and error, I think. What works for one group doesn't work for the other. So I think the more we do it, the more we will learn about it. It's still kind of a work in progress. We still need some schools to reach out to us and to ask for the workshop. But it depends really on where we are in the year. Some periods in the year we have a lot of schools coming. Others, school vacations, obviously not. Maybe organizations can come, like intern. People who like sleep at organizations that don't sleep at home, the kids. But we have a really positive feedback already, and also in combination with our sensory-friendly screenings, I think it can be like a nice thing for the people. So I hope the kids for the workshops maybe later come to the film. And that's the last slide, some more pictures.
Does anyone have a question? Yeah.
Thank you very much. That was really interesting. I really like it as an idea. I'm wondering about the mentors. Is it always externals? Sometimes someone
No,
from your
it's
cinema?
our audience developer. Credits go to her, by the way, because she does this like fantastically. And she has a really, she doesn't have a degree in like education or kids, but she mentors the workshops. And I think she does it really well. She had some experience with kids in her work before. She worked at BUDA, but it's someone internal, so someone from our own staff who does it. Yeah.
Okay.
It can be sometimes we use like volunteers to help with them, but those are people who work in the environment. Yeah.
Yeah, hi. I wanted to ask like almost the same question. So do you have to have like kind of an education? Did you as a cinema staff attend any kind of education on working with
Not in
special
school,
needs?
but she followed a lot of workshops and conversations with the school, so they know that it's not someone who had like a teaching background or something. But we go in conversation with the school, and they're okay with it because we didn't have any negative comments about that. But she didn't have an education on how to work with kids.
Because we're also doing a lot of sensory workshops and sensory screenings for children. And we have to have a external facilitator. Yeah, like
And
it's
it's
really for
Yeah.
our schools, like they really want someone educated in that field. That's why I ask if you went yourself on some kind of education for that. So yeah.
In Belgium, they don't really ask this.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not obliged. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. I had to write down what I was going to say. Oh yeah, language identity. Sorry, I'm not talking. Yeah, no, yeah. This is super interesting. I am neurodivergent myself and have wanted to like work with programs with neurodivergence, everyone in the cinema, like especially with screenings, but I haven't really thought about the workshop part, which can be really, really useful.
Yeah. The schools are really happy we do that for them because it's entirely different than a regular school workshop. Yeah.
Just a comment on the happy you're trying to work on like inclusive language, but there are like different like tendencies or like different opinions on terminology, and actually in the
I know
in the neurodivergent community there's actually
it changes
a push
a lot
to
in
use
Belgium what they like, which terms they like.
To like use identity first language, so you wouldn't say like woman with lesbianism in the same way you would say.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I know.
point.
Yeah, there are a lot of work. If you can follow a workshop on that, please do. Yeah, it's really interesting.
Very cool. But
we do follow workshops every year for inclusive language, but as I said, it changes sometimes. Yeah, what they like, what they want as a term.
My question was actually, sorry for taking so long, like how do you, so of course like autistic kids and neurodivergent kids are very heterogenic group, right? And so might have different different things can work differently for them. And how do you work to ensure that, or like how important is kind of like participation of the kids in the shaping of the program, like their feedback kind of from themselves, and how do you ensure that it's not like a program that ends up being informed by like their allistic parents, for example?
Yeah, so I haven't attended one of these workshops yet, but I think we go mostly in dialogue with like their teachers, and we got a lot of feedback from the kids when we did like the testing workshops. There we like really knew what worked for them, because we also had like a VR experience, which was in a testing case, and they really did not like it, so we didn't use it for the workshops. So, but I think if we notice that like the stop motion is not something that's really good for them, or they don't really like it, then we can definitely change the subjects. But we do it in conversation also with like the teachers and the class groups, because it also depends on the size of the group. Yeah, is that a good answer? Okay.
My question is additional to the previous one. Even if it's not, even if you are not supposed to have like external workshopper, supervisor, do you have any? Can you receive any help from a specific organization which is specialized in this? And for example, just to have like supervision or a place where your intern can share his struggles and just receive some help.
So the intern was actually helped us to make the workshop. So we don't use interns now for the mentoring. So it's really the one person who always does the workshop. Yeah, but I think we have a lot of contacts in Kotrijk with like the organizations. So if we want some help, I think they are very happy to help us to guide us through this. Yeah. We didn't make use of it, but we know everyone in the field because we have a close contact with the social organization, so that's really helpful, yeah.
You have a question?
Just a short one, like, do they pay for it, and if yes, then what's the price?
Yeah, so the schools pay for it because our regular school workshop also has a rate, and I think it's 150 euros with a maximum of 15 kids. But even if it's like a group of 4 kids, it's also 150 euros. It's like one rate because it's like the workshop that you get. Yeah.
Did you have last one, and then we have to continue?
So you talk about the fact that you can reach to association and that this program is proposed to school. If you ever think about proposing this to those associations, because
they know it. Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah,
it's
everyone
not just for school.
No. We also have like organizations that work with kids and like who struggle, and they know it. So we reach out to them and tell them like, hey, this is something we offering if you can come. And if it's social organization, so the price is fixed for school. But if it's like a social organization, we can have the conversation about the rate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you, Marlies.
Thank you.
And next up is Andrea from Kino Usmev.
Hello, how are you doing? It's me again. So today I'll be talking about our IncluCine project. That is an international project supported through the Europa Cinemas Collaborate to Innovate scheme, and it is led by Kino Usmev together with Bioparadis in Iceland and Biocentral in Czechia. The main goal of the project is to launch an initiative to make European cinemas accessible to historically marginalized groups of people. So I already told you that we started with inclusive activities about 6 years ago, and these inclusive activities include not only the screenings but also our inclusive film festival and also inclusive film camp for kids, but these are not part of the project, so just to paint a picture. So I already talked about senior-friendly screenings. We also have baby-friendly screenings. These two we have every other week. And then we have autism, dementia, blind and deaf-friendly screenings on a monthly basis. And also we helped launch inclusive screenings in Iceland. On the right you can see Hron, the director of Bioparadis in Reykjavik. I won't be talking about the specifics of our screenings. I feel like you can ask me later, of course, but I feel like a lot of you already have experience with these screenings, and that is why we are currently, so I will move over here, we are currently conducting Europe-wide survey on the accessibility of cinemas in Europa Cinemas network. And yes, the deadline is on Monday, 24th of March. If you want to be a part of the survey or your cinema, you can join us and fill the survey. So We want to know what the current state of the accessibility in Europe is, what are the main challenges that exhibitors face, and what we can do to change it or help with the situation. And there is reward at the end of the survey. I will tell you later. And if you don't get the QR code right now and you change your mind, I want to fill it later, you can message me and I'll send you the link. So after we collect the data, we will launch an international website dedicated to accessibility of European cinemas. This website will include information like data from the survey, some best practices from cinemas all over Europe, also some feedback not only from the exhibitors but also from the audience. As a result, cinemas from all over Europe will be able to look up some tools and know how to launch their own inclusive activities in their countries. As part of the project, there are some project visits. Of course, my colleagues recently went to Poznań in Poland during the festival called Cinema Without Barriers. This project will include 3 visits to cinemas already pioneering with their inclusive activities. So this is one of them. And the reward comes right now. So when you fill the survey, you can apply for a training that we will host at the end of April. It is for cinema professionals, not only to those who already have inclusive activities, but also for those who haven't started yet but would like to. The program will include facilitated 5-day program, workshops, like a place for exchanging best practices and so on. So please join us and let's make cinema a meeting place for all.
Does anyone have a question?
It's just practical. You said the end of the survey was on Monday. We still have Monday to fill it, or okay, great.
Anyone else? You are first.
Thanks for that. I'm just wondering a little bit more about the project that was rolled out using the CTI scheme, and did it actually include like investing in hardware and wiring for audio description, for example, or things like that, or is it more just the planning of the scheme, and how are you using those funds? If you're able to give me a bit more detail.
Includes some funding of these like technical specifics for the screenings, but we already had inclusive screenings as part of other projects, so we have the basis for that. So we just want to like improve it. But yeah, I didn't want to develop a lot about the screenings because there are other like important activities so to fund. Yeah. Yes, we have been collaborating with Bioparadis before, and as I mentioned, we help them launch these activities. So yes, they already have the basis too, but still there are really like place to improve for all of us.
Yeah, I just thought it was a very cool initiative, and was wondering if you are gathering data also from user groups and organizations, or only from the cinemas themselves?
In this survey, only from the cinemas. We have been in a close contact with all the NGOs in our city and our country. I can't speak for other cinemas in this project right now.
You mentioned that you are also working with people that has dementia. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? How do you screen movies for those kind of people?
Okay, so it's mostly about the choice of the film. We choose mostly old Czechoslovak films, which like they remember from their younger days. We usually have a break in the middle of the screening. Then we cover or put out all the mirrors in the building. And we have like our staff helping the audience to get to the screening room.
Why do you cover the mirrors?
Yeah, people with dementia, they don't. They get confused or get sometimes like get scared when they see a mirror.
Thank you so much. Next up is Goda from Cinema Centre Romuva.
Good day, everyone. My name is Goda. I'm from Kaunas Cinema Center Romuva. Could you please just...
Sorry,
this is...
in Slovakia.
Yeah. We're traveling.
We're warping you now.
That's the point.
You're almost warped to the other.
Coming closer. We're in Croatia now. Oh.
So today I'm excited to share a project that was launched with the vision of using film not just as an entertainment, but as a tool for emotional well-being, self-reflection, and also community building. So our project explored the relationship between film and mental well-being. So we combined film sessions with discussions led by mental health therapists, and alongside creative workshops like stop motion animation for young audience to express and explore their feelings. We also created a film recipe book, which I have now in my hands, so you could just send it forward and have a look. It's in Lithuanian language, but still maybe it was, I don't know, important. Yeah, so this film recipe book includes a film journal. This book aims to help audiences reflect more on their emotional journey with films, and also deepen their understanding about the therapeutic power of cinema. So the project was designed to engage and involve audience on multiple levels. For example, emotionally, creatively, and also intellectually. So also, it's important to mention that the project partners were Cinema Arta from Romania and Astor Cinema from Greece. So there are several key learnings that stand out. Firstly, the film selection process was a joint effort between our three project partners. Of course, it was challenging to meet the diverse needs and preferences of different audience groups. Secondly, structured screenings and discussions created a dynamic and engaging experience. These film sessions with discussions help people connect more with the films. Also, these workshops have been a great success because they help young audience to engage and to explore their feelings in a creative and supportive way. Also, and finally, we made a strong use of communication strategies. For example, we use them to kind of engage audience and to ensure that the project reach as many people as possible. So we used promotional strategies, we use social media platforms, press releases and promotional videos. For example, we presented in a traditional way, but films were promoted like reels, like a real format and like a movie diary. What else? Oh, sorry, just one slide. And what didn't work, for one of the main challenges we're encountering was balancing different audience feedback while while creating the film selection, sorry. So for future participants, we recommend being more flexible in adapting activities based on audience feedback. Of course, every project comes with its own challenges. So firstly, balancing audience expectations required a lot of collaboration and understanding of different needs. Secondly, limited film selection, so screenings plus discussions took a lot of time, so it was hard to keep audiences focused, and it was hard to keep them engaged also. Second, I think it's also important to mention that you need to make you need to make quick changes while managing audiences' feedback. And finally, with a more targeted group, with the more targeted promotional strategies, we can reach even a larger and diverse group of people. In terms of evaluation, financially we remain with our allocated budget, and here you can see the data from our screenings. There were like 10 films for this program, and here you can see a list and most favorite ones. The most favorite ones were Life is Beautiful and Wild Strawberries. We also, Romuva also had 10 workshops, and other cinemas had 5 workshops, but just keep in mind that this is data till March, so there are not final results. And so we're excited about this project to grow and evolve, and we also know that some cinemas already thinking about doing similar initiatives in their work. We think that we also received a really positive feedback and positive minds from our audience. Let's collaborate. And I put this QR code. I can answer all the questions, I think, but I put it just maybe my colleagues will know better. So yeah, you can just scan it and.
Hi, hello. I have a question. Did you focus mainly on older audience or the younger audience with this project, or was it everyone was involved?
Everyone was involved.
Everyone.
Yeah,
but did you target for the younger audience? You targeted schools mostly.
I mean workshops.
For the workshops.
For young audience. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else?
How this is communicated? Are you selling ticket for film plus discussion? Is going like this, and everybody who
like a package,
yeah, and everybody who is coming to see the movie stays for the discussion, or
not everybody.
Not everybody. Okay.
Yeah. As I said, it's hard to keep them focused, you know.
Okay, thank you so
Thank
much,
you so
Goda.
much.
Next up is Gregor from Kulturni Dom in Slovenia.
Hello, I'm Gregor Janežič, and this is our and this is our cultural center where I work, and where we are doing our project that I would like to introduce you today. The project is called Cinema Without Barriers. We are doing it with our partners from Europe. I will not say who are they, because I will for sure pronounce something wrong. So what we do? Yes. So what we do? We prepare. Everybody knows what audio description is, right? So we prepare audio description for films. We got money from European Union. We add audio description to a film. We add sign language interpretation of a film to the film, and we add subtitles. So why we are doing this? Because we think that the culture needs to be accessible for everybody. Why? Also because we get new audience. People from Ljubljana, Cerknica is 50 kilometers away from Ljubljana, from the capital, are coming to Cerknica because we are offering this kind of screenings, and nobody was offering screenings like this before. So this is good. We are building the community. Like they really, people with disabilities really like to come to the cinema. A lot of times they stay longer and they talk with each other. They share their problems, and it's we really became like a family. When I'm telling you about people coming, that's not a huge community. There is 1,000 people that are deaf in Slovenia, and 10 to 20 of them comes to our cinema for screenings, which I think are amazing numbers. Because before, nobody did anything for them, maybe the national TV. So they are not used to go to the cinema. When I started with the project, I thought that, okay, I will do this and this and this, and they will just run to the cinema because I did this for them. It was not like this. So this can be an opportunity, not just a challenge, for sure. When you start doing this, you find out that the biggest obstacle is for sure money, but it's so easy. If you do a little bit of research, it's so easy to do a lot of things for not a lot of money. So after we do this monthly. After every screening, we have a discussion, and here you can see, like, we talk about the film, or if it's a Slovenian film, we invite people from the film that were making the film, and we talk about how it was, and it's really interesting to talk with the guy that takes care of the sound, and deaf people have a lot of questions about the sound engineer, yes. So, and also the discussion is translated to Slovenian sign language. What were the challenges when we start? Budget, for sure. If we would not get European money, we would not be able to do this. When the European finance will end, I am optimistic, but I don't think we will be able to do it in a way we are doing it now. As Samos cinema, also our is protected, so we can't do much around or inside. So we needed to install audio loop, and we hide it quite well, but it was something that we needed to think a lot about. So yeah, I told. Okay, community awareness. When I start talking about the project and what I will write, everybody from the municipality, my co-workers, were looking at me and saying, why? So it was a 2-month project for sure to convince them that they will ensure our share of the money that we need to put in the project. And why is this important? Not a lot of things is done for these societies, and yeah, you need to convince those that have money for this. And this is also the last sentence. Yeah, you need to justify, and sometimes it's really hard to justify these things if you are talking with somebody that doesn't understand you, why this is important. So, as I said, we are doing subtitles, audio description, Slovenian Sign Language. There are big changes in Europe. In Poland, a lot of deaf people is illiterature in Polish language. But in Slovenia, this is not a problem. So they can read regular subtitles. Sometimes they are just too fast for them. And this is why we have a sign language interpreter in this corner, so they can check also this and catch some words. We were really lucky because we had headphones for silent cinema already in the cinema, and we are using those, yes. They're really cheap, so everybody that wants to do this for 2,000 euros, you can get a transmitter and 60 headphones. We are using, most of the deaf people that are coming to our cinema is using headphones, not mono headphones like in Poland. Sorry. We offer them both, and they prefer the headphones because they can also hear, we put on the headphones audio description, and also left, right, and center from the film, and they can hear it better than if they would need to hear it from the whole. So yeah, we also take care of accessibility for people with physical disabilities. So you can come with a wheelchair. We have a toilet, which is really important for them. And we put this on every poster that we have. If they know that they have a toilet, that it's equipped with everything, it's much easier for them to come, because this is really important to them. We are partnering with local organizations to support accessibility efforts. We connected with Slovenian Deaf Organization, Slovenian Blind Organization. The Deaf Organization is also helping us with the sign language interpreter for the discussion and for the film. Selecting the films, I thought that this would be like my role, and it would be like, oh, what I'm doing for them, and I will choose the topics and everything. But in the end, it was not all films can be equipped with audio description. A lot of documentaries can't be. Some films could be, but it would be too expensive, and it's really hard for them to follow if there is too many things that they need to describe. So even the person that is doing this, this is really a hard job because you need to know what you want to describe, what they need to know so they could follow the film. So it's not like an easy thing to do. This is why it's so expensive. How did it transform our cinema? Well, we have more people that are coming to the screenings. People from Ljubljana are coming to the screenings that would never come to the screenings. We increased the audience engagement. We have the stronger local so we have stronger local connections. We have connections that we didn't have before. It's improved reputation for Kulturni dom Cerknica because we are one of the first one to do something. Now also the Kino Dvor is doing it in Ljubljana. And what I'm always saying is, and I will repeat, we are a town with 4,000 people. We have 7,000 people on the screenings, all screenings yearly. So I'm proving, and Cerknica is proving, that even smaller venues can make a difference. K-learnings, this is really the last 1 minute. Get to know your audience. You don't know anything about them. Try to learn as much as you can. Do it with them, not for them, because you don't know what they need. They know what they need. The communications, this is really like, I could talk 5 minutes more, but I will not, about the communications. They're so different. It needs to be easy to read text for blind people. You need to describe all the pictures that you add in PDF or on page. And you need to ask them. A lot of elderly people from these communities, they are on Facebook, they have their own groups, and this is it. And this last thing is important. This is not disabilities, they're just different abilities. They can do everything that we can do.
I know you highly dislike AI, but that's literally one of the reasons why it was created. To help with audio descriptions, these kinds of things, to make it accessible, easy, and for everyone. So, have you thought about using AI?
AI is really in the beginning when it comes to audio description, because humans still needs to decide what needs to be described. So they are using it, but it's really expensive. When you have the after film discussion, the artificial intelligence can listen to what you are saying, and it's writing it to text, and it does really well. But we are not using this because it's 500 euros per discussion, which is too much for us.
The open AI Whisper is free.
No, maybe I should try it. Is it good? We will discuss it later.
Anyone else?
So you said that you show the movies with subtitles. I don't know about. I guess you show the movies in your language. So for us, for example, we have a lot of people that are deaf, so they can only come to our screenings of international movies because we have subtitles. They're in their original version with subtitles in Spanish, so they can't watch Spanish movies because the distribution companies usually don't make a copy with Spanish subtitles. Yeah.
I have something to say about that. That's true. And if you put subtitles on Spanish movies or Catalan movies, people get angry because, I don't know, it's some cultural thing. But we used to have this app where you could link which movie, it was from the government, you were which movie you were watching, and they gave you the subtitles. I don't remember the name, but it was something like that, but it didn't work really well. It was really slow, and yeah, it's the only way. The government was their only way of doing it, because in Spain, subtitles for Spanish or Catalan movies are like non-existent almost.
But did you ask the distributors? Because I also thought that for Slovenian films there is no subtitles, but they are. So when we have a Slovenian film, we put the Slovenian subtitles. When we have a foreign film, we are never dubbing, so there are already Slovenian subtitles ready. So. Yes.
I actually think, I mean, it may differ in Spain, but Slovenian film is non-existent in private sector, so all the movies shot in Slovenia are publicly funded. So in order to get the tenders, they need to do the subtitles and prepare the audio description for the ones that, yeah, am I right, Gregor?
Yes,
yeah.
And this is what the goal of this project, my personal goal is, that they would already equipped with everything that we are doing now, that the government would say, if we are giving you money, equip the DCP copy. You just add the audio description to the 8th channel. This is so easy to do, and it's not costing any money when you're already doing the DCP.
Yeah, so in your place in Spain, I would check if the movie is funded with public money, then I'm sure it should have subtitles also.
I wanted to ask, like, in what extent do you work with the distributors? Because you already said I contact the distributor and I ask for the subtitles, but is the collaboration maybe bigger because
For now, no.
because they have the infrastructure, for instance, for the subtitles, and then you don't have to put extra effort or money in. So maybe it should be like a thing with cinemas and distributors.
This is my goal and wish, but for now it's not like this. They give us a film. If it's a Slovenian film and the audio description is prepared, they will give me this in a file, and then I put all these things together. Also with the subtitles, I equip the DCP and export it, and then we use it in the cinema.
Okay, so as you mentioned Poland twice during your presentation. No, it's okay because actually the Kino Pałacowe from Poland and the whole cultural center that is there, they have a huge, not only a festival, conference and a project, and that leads to actually that the Polish Film Institute has a fund that the distributors can apply in order to get money to get this whole package, film, audio description, and we also have like 2 companies, private companies, that are actually working right now on 2 different audio description apps. We are now testing one called Audio Movie, and they have a lot of problems, but we had the biggest struggle is to get those people to test on them the app, because we have to reach them somehow. So this is because we, as a cinema, we want to help them. So we agreed, and we didn't have a training, which is bad. But I think that the willingness to help is very important. And there is another one that the goal is to expand outside of Poland. So maybe someday they're gonna do something also available for you. And I would say that if you have film institutes and pressing them, and for the collaboration between distributors, the central fund and cinemas, would lead to the same situation as in Poland. And it is super cool that we actually can do that, even though we still have stairs, but they can somehow very slowly climb up and watch movie, and their experience is like unforgettable. So fingers crossed for you in your battle as well.
Like, if I can finish it up with my last sentence, I'm always saying whenever I come from Poland, that Poland is really 10 years or 15 years ahead. In this case, I'm just saying for this case, because we started last year and we are doing baby steps, but I'm always returning from Poland when we go to visit in Poznan, the cinema that we are collaborating with, full of hopes and energy that everything can be done. So.
Yeah, and in terms of this is also collaborate to innovate projects. So I think that you can extend, and you can also somehow apply for similar things, or also extend the chain of cinemas. Is it?
We did, but we don't want to talk about it.
So cut.
Did anybody?
I was just texting Alexander to keep his slide up for a little bit longer, because we're approaching the wrap-up of the end of the day. And I was seeing this slide, and I thought, besides it was a very beautiful presentation, and it was on your topic, but I see a lot of things here that we're talking about throughout the last days. Get to know your audience. Do it with them or collaborate. Do it with each other. Adapt your communication to their needs and favorite media. We've spoken a lot about that. And carefully evaluate the titles that you, well, it's not about the titles, but carefully evaluate, that's really important. And what I really liked about your presentation is that you said a couple of times, I thought this, I assumed this, we tried it, it didn't work, and then we changed it. And I think that's the key, in improving your products or the things that you might want to do. And the last one is specific to your project, but I found it really interesting for this project. Am I the only one, or? No. Okay, good. We have to wait 3 minutes, guys. We planned like 90 minutes for the wrap up, but we also had some input about the request that we did last day yesterday. So we decided to do a little group work, a little bit more, but just briefly, we're going to divide you in 3 groups. No, we have 3 groups, and you can decide in which group you want to go, and then we hope you divide a little bit evenly, that we don't have one very big group and 2 very small groups. That would be a pity. Then we just have a discussion about the topics, then we just come back and report, and then the last 45 minutes will be like a personal wrap-up and something you can bring home. Okay? Okay, we're going to do 3 discussions. So the first group is about marketing and special about loyalty programs. So if you're interested about that's a good summarize, loyalty programs, that will be group 1. The second group will be, please help me out.
Marketing when you run both theater and cinema?
Thank you. A couple of people here, they run a cinema, but also a theater or something else combined with it. And that will give you a specific task in your marketing. So that will be talking about that. So that's the second group. And the third group is about, we all work in small staffs. We work really hard. So how can we manage that one? That's the third group. About work. I work in a small team. I do a lot of things. And how can I manage to do all the work with a small group? And how can I be happy with that?
Without having the burnout and so on.
Yeah? Okay. I can do the work. I like to do group 3. The working group.
I stick with loyalty.
Yeah, so loyalty is with Ola and with Annette. You do the marketing with the combined groups. That's group 2. And group 3 will stay here for the work.
Group 2, let's go outside, maybe?
The wrap up, yeah. Okay, everybody. Yeah.
because you wanted the project to be clean. It's not like passionate about things. And so yeah, that's difficult, but what he did more.
Okay, everybody, the last group work that we had, and no, we're initiating. It says please wait, so I stick to the rules. We had 3 different group sessions. I really look forward to hear just a little, not in depth, but just some general thoughts that you were sharing with each other. So perhaps one of the yeah, yes, please. But just in a couple of lines. So 1 minute, 1.5 minutes. So. Mike. Sorry, you're prop.
So I was in the group that talked about loyalty schemes, and what we did was we had a little bit of a chat about existing loyalty schemes, things that go well. We heard from Andrea in Prague, who has a really successful loyalty scheme where people pay an annual fee, and they get a certain number of tickets, they get credits and discounts at the bar, and they get to sponsor a seat, so they get their name on a seat, which is really, really great, and he's found that that works really well, and it doesn't lead to violence when people don't get to sit in their seat that they have sponsored if someone else is sat in that, so that works really, really well. We also heard about different kinds of, maybe not a loyalty scheme, but different kinds of initiatives. So like a loyalty card, whereby you get a number of stamps. So maybe 5 stamps and then your 6th visit is free, or to that effect. And that goes, that works really, really well to build, to build that loyalty. We talked about these initiatives not being necessarily to make money, but actually be to kind of build the connection and to build the loyalty and to get people coming back. And then we talked a little bit about concerns. So there's some people in the group who haven't necessarily launched a loyalty scheme because they're concerned about not having enough time or resource and they want to do it well. They just don't want to do it like half-heartedly. So that was one of the concerns that we had. Although other people have things like friendship schemes, discount cards, things like that. Oh yes, okay, and an amazing idea to share. I can't remember which cinema it came from. Yes, this is a fantastic idea. So people, they have merch available, so like t-shirts or socks, and when you wear those in the cinema, you get free popcorn, which is awesome. Yeah, or discounts or things like that. Really, really cool. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, in our group we spoke about working in the cinema, that it's really fun. But sometimes also really demanding, and that we are all passionate about our jobs, but that also can ask a lot of you. So, therefore, we also, so we were talking about that a lot of times you do a lot of things in your company, just like this morning, the woman from the cinema said, yeah, I'm also ordering toilet paper, and a lot of people could relate to that. And it's giving a lot of pressure, because sometimes you're the only one that can do a certain task, and that's not really healthy. So it's asking a lot of all of us. So it was really an interesting discussion, and I hope that I translated well, or I displayed well, that more or less everybody could relate to that theme. So it is hard work, we like the work, but sometimes it's also very demanding, and not always in a healthy way. But at the end, we all like movies. That was more or less the thing, right? Okay, that was the summarize of our group. Perhaps of the last group?
Thank you. So we were in the group with like the venues with multi-purpose venues. So people who also do cinema, but also do theater or exhibitions or have a planetarium. And I think we all had like struggles. It was really clear that we all struggled in terms of communication, because it's really hard for the people to know what exactly is happening at your venue. We had some kind of different situations because somebody told they could only use like the website from the city because they're funded from the city. So it's really hard for the people to find them. So they have to go through every page on the city's website, like culture, film, and then they have like 2 separate cinemas, and they pick the cinema, and then they can buy a ticket. But for them, it's not possible to have their own website because they don't have the money, and they just can't because of the city, which is a real struggle. We didn't really have like a kind of conclusion, but it's nice to know that we all all struggle with the same. Then there was somebody who does theater and film and only has one Instagram page and one Facebook page, which is nice for this venue because otherwise, because it's on such a small scale, they wouldn't have enough content to post on separate accounts. So for them, it's like nice. And then we had Verkadefabriek, which is also doing theater and cabaret and film, and they're privately owned. And they really, as a team, or like some of the communications team, really wants to separate that. But the owner is just not really fond of that because for him, the cinema is a nice form of income. So he's like, I will just get the money from that to do theater, which he loves more than film. And then for us in BUDA, we also do theater, and we have residencies for artists, and we also have film. And we are funded by the government now for like 10 years. So it's also hard for us to like make a separation because everything is in the same building. And we do want to have like the crossover of the public, but it's hard for them to like understand what is happening. So I think what we can conclude is that if you have a multi-purpose venue, you really have to make a choice about how you communicate on social media. Do you go with separate pages and a separate branding? Because that, for us, we thought that was the best. Or do you still choose to do everything on one page because it makes your brand stronger? If it's like a smaller venue, you have more content for that. But it's a bit hard.
Okay, thank you so much. That was the last group work that we did. We started individually, talking to the other, what you were planning to do here. Perhaps you can think of what you said to the others. What were your objectives or your ideas or your hopes or your wishes? Now we're 4 days later, more or less, más o menos. And you've heard a lot. You probably have been thinking about a lot of things a lot. Maybe your head is overwhelmingly full. That's the case in my situation now. But we're going to end this lab the same way we ended the last lab in Sofia, and it was really good. We're just going outside, and you can pick a place. There are going to be envelopes and a white sheet of paper, and you can write a letter to yourself, what you've learned from this lab. And on one moment, a message will appear from Zulea, Ola, and me, and that will say, open up your letter, what you've written, and it's going to be any moment in the future. And it was really nice to do it with the last group, because we got a really nice feedback. Oh yeah, I was thinking of that. I was thinking of that. Or I haven't done it. I'm going to do it. And I also wrote a letter to myself. It was really nice to read that back. So the idea, write a letter to yourself, say dear, sweet, or whatever, and then your own name, and undersign it with your name. And what always helps me in those things is you got like 2 different kind of ideas. Like maybe you've heard something that you want to do, and that's an easy thing to do, you know, like a quick fix. Maybe you can write something down like that. But also like the big idea that's more like a wish, and maybe it feels impossible now, but maybe it's also, you know, the star on the horizon that you would like to aim for. Maybe you can put it in your letter. So let's say, so it's now 1:45. Let's say take half an hour to write your letter, just to overthink it. Sorry? No, it's a very good half an hour. Yeah. Half an hour, 30 minutes, yeah. So take the time, and maybe you can just start with some things that you would like to take with you, you know, the ideas that you liked, and then write it down, and then after that you write a letter. Is that a clear task? Any questions? We're going to find pens, for sure. Maybe other people have spare pens, but any questions? No more questions? Envelope and paper is outside.
I thought that we're going to ask them if they want to share what they want to implement. So then we have some time to do this. When we have to finish?
45 minutes.